Hey everyone, welcome to Sports Talk. Once again, I'm Jon Gerardi, sports editor at the Sun-Gazette, alongside the doctor, Chris Masse, as usual. And, Chris, we got a lot of baseball playoff stuff to kind of get into right away, so let's just jump into it here. Let's kind of talk about the elephant in the room, though. District 4, Class A. St. John Newman, the only team with the winning record, should be the automatic default champ, but they kind of reworked everything, and now they have to play Cowanesque Valley at Bowman Field next Friday for the title.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, I don't like changing the rules at the 11th hour. The rules stated going into the season and up until last week, you have to be 500 or better to qualify, or you can be below 500, but if you have a higher power ranking than a team that meets those criteria, none of that happened in Class A. It was just Newman. So they changed, I think last Thursday, Friday, they announced there will be a district championship with the number 2 seed, and if you want to have that contingency in the future that says, if this scenario happens where we only have one team that finishes 500 or better, we're still having a championship, that's fine for the future.
Exactly.
But you can't do it on the fly right now. And Cowanesque Valley is a dangerous team. They're 8-12, but they play in the NTL, which has a lot of good baseball teams. They played Canton really tough. Canton's 17-3. They beat Wyalusing, who's a good AA team. So it's going to be a tough game for Newman. Ultimately all they wanted at the beginning of the year was a chance to win the district title, and they have it. But my opinion, yeah, it's baseball. This isn't basketball or football where most of the time the better team. Cowanesque Valley's a good team, so I'm not saying that Newman's the better team right now, but they have the better record, and I think in baseball, the records really don't matter much at all. It just, the ball can take some weird hops on one day.
Yep, exactly.
Long story short, I don't agree with the decision. I think Newman won the district championship and shouldn't have to play that game. They could still win it on the field, but I thought they got the shaft here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure the coaches and players are rightfully upset that they went from being having it basically, we're the champs, and now we have to play a game kind of at the last second, because they're, like you said, they're changing the rules as the season's happening without kind of sticking to what we had.
I think that's what's frustrating for them, is that the rules were changed at the 11th hour, and all year we were led to believe that if they finished, if this scenario happened, which has never happened before in baseball, where there's only one team that qualifies, they'd be the champion. Newman has a right to be upset because they did everything that they're supposed to do, and it's not their fault that nobody else did in the field. And now, like I said, Cowanesque Valley's a good team. To me, that's a coin flip game, and it's a game that I don't think Newman should be in. But it is what it is, and they got to forget about that, and they got to say, we've got an opportunity to play at Bowman Field and a chance to make history and go from there.
Going down to Class AA, Sayre is the top seed in the field. They get a bye into the quarterfinals. Montgomery is at East Juniata on Saturday at 11 a.m. Lime Mountain at Canton on Monday at 4:30. Muncie has to travel to Southern Columbia on Monday at 4:30, and Wyalusing at South Williamsport on Monday at 4:30. Those three are quarterfinals. I guess what is kind of your takeaway here from the AA field? Because there's some tough matchups here looking at the bracket.
Yeah, this is a loaded field. Whoever wins this title is going to earn it the hard way, and I think whoever wins could do something at the state level. Canton is 17-3, and they're the 4 seed right now. And Wyalusing sitting at 7 just beat South Williamsport, their quarterfinal opponent. They beat them Tuesday. They've got a stud pitcher in Blake Morningstar. Wyalusing's a team that had to beat South to get in at 9-9, and they did, and they can make some hay there. Muncie with Ross Iyer on the mound. I think Southern might be the team to beat. But Muncie with Ross Iyer throwing, they could be a wild card. Sayre is really good. They've been mashing the ball all year, 19-1 right now. So this is going to be really interesting. There's going to be some real good battles here, and this is definitely the best field of District 4.
Looking at it, I don't think there's really a favorite per se. Like you said, Southern But I don't think there's really any one team you can look at in this field and say this team's going to run away with it, because
Absolutely.
you know what I mean. It's going to be close every game.
Yeah, and I think most teams have that number one pitcher that they can throw out there and feel confident that they can win a game with them. So that makes the quarterfinal matches really interesting, and then it comes down to, I think, pitching depth from there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give away my playoff previews coming out Saturday. I kind of tip my hand a little, saying I think Southern's one of the teams to beat. But whoever wins the South Wyalusing game is dangerous. Sayre's, I said, loaded. Line Mountain has a really good left-handed pitcher that they can throw out there. Canton has won 12 out of their last 13 games. So this is a toss-up. It's just literally going to come down to who's hot at the right time, who plays better on that day. It's really going to be fun.
Shifting to AAA here, Central Columbia, top seed in that field, they get a bye. North Bend Mansfield travels to Hughesville Saturday for a quarterfinal. Mount Carmel heads to Wellsboro Saturday for a quarterfinal, and then Loyal Sox on the bottom side of the bracket as the 2 seed, and they get a bye. Look at this one. Another group here that has a lot of good teams, and I think can be another interesting bracket.
Yeah, Central's the clear favorite but these are good teams, and it's baseball, so you never know what can happen. But Central's sitting at 18-2. They swept Loyal Sox, they swept Hughesville, so they're going to be tough to beat. But that being said, it's always tough to beat a team 3 times. I think the Wellsboro-Mount Carmel matchup is interesting because Mount Carmel has been playing for its playoff life here the last 2 weeks. They won their last 3 games to get in, so they're getting hot at the right time. North Penn Mansfield, Hughesville's an interesting game. Hughesville beat them in the season opener, but that was an eternity ago, so I think you throw that result out the door. Hughesville, to me, is a sleeper that if they can get past North Penn Mansfield and get another crack at Central, they could be tough. So yeah, I think Central's the team to beat, but Loyal Sox is always tough come playoff time, and I think those other 4 teams on a given day can be dangerous.
Last one here in the area, Class Quad A, Midwest top seed, so they get a bye. And then in the semifinal, you got Montoursville against Athens at Central on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. I like Montoursville in this field, but I mean Midwest, I think is a team that you can't really overlook.
Yeah, and Athens, I don't know much about them because I didn't see them play at all this year, but I know they won the district title a couple years ago, and they have a good program there. So that'll be an interesting semifinal with Montoursville. But Midwest is loving where they're at to get a bye right into the championship and save your pitching. They don't have, they're coming. Whoever wins, if you're Midwest, you're hoping that Montoursville and Athens go 14 innings and burn up all their pitching. But Midwest is in a good spot. They've got 2 pretty good pitchers. They hit the ball well all year. And with them having all their pitching ready to go, they're going to be tough to beat whoever wins that Midwest or Montoursville-Athens game. But yeah, Montoursville, they've been up and down a little bit down the stretch here. I think if they can figure it out and get everything clicking at the same time, they can be dangerous and make a run in a 3rd straight district title. And they were AAA the last 2 times they won it. This is their first time in the Quad A field, and Jeremy Eck has a great track record at Loyal Sox and Montoursville coaching those teams in district titles. So it's usually not wise to bet against his teams, but it's going to be tough for them.
The one thing I noticed is that you have, a bunch of games Saturday, a bunch Monday, and I know for you it kind of sucks because you can only be at one place.
Yeah,
so exactly. A lot of good games that you won't be able to get to.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
For softball now, the District 4 bracket isn't released yet, but I'm pretty sure at this point kind of where everything's kind of going to fall.
Yeah.
District 6 though, Central Mountain is into the final already. There's only 3 teams in the field for 5A. They get either Hollidaysburg or Bellefonte. Bellefonte, they have Lexi Rogers, a really solid pitcher, and Central Mountain can hang with most teams in their class. I think if Bellefonte wins that, I think that's going to be a good matchup between Central Mountain and Bellefonte for the district final.
Yeah, they met I think last week, and Bellefonte took round 1. Rogers shut him out, and so That's the key. You got to find a way to scratch a couple of runs across against a really good pitcher. But Central Mountain, they've only lost 3 games. They won to Bellefonte and 2 to Danville, which has Morgan Wagner, who's going Division I.
Yep.
So Central Mountain's dangerous. They've got Adeline McKeague and Allison Lininger have both been pitching well this year. So they have an offense that can score a lot of runs. So yeah, I think it'll be, if they get that rematch against them, having already seen Rogers, I think that helps a little bit. And I think that'll be a good game. So, a 1-2 run type of game.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the District 4 then. What are you kind of expecting out of I guess kind of give us a quick rundown for the District 4 softball. What are you kind of expecting for each class?
Yeah. Well, unlike baseball, District 4, like Class A and softball will get 2 teams in. AAA will get 2 teams in. So it's nice to see that because especially in those 2 fields are really loaded. Class A, you've got Northeast Bradford, who's undefeated, Montgomery, who only has 1 loss. And I would say Bucktail's a sleeper lurking there at the 3 seed, potentially getting Montgomery in the semifinals. But as it is right now, Northeast Bradford and Montgomery look like the teams to beat. Double A, to me, is all Line Mountain and Wyalusing right now. Muncie is 11-7, but they're kind of struggling a little bit at the wrong time right now. Triple A is loaded, and this is where seeding could. There's a lot that could still happen seeding-wise here. We know the top 4 is going to be. We don't know the order right now. It's Loyal Sox, Central Columbia, Lewisburg, and Bloomsburg. Sox plays
4 teams.
Yeah. All 4 of them are capable of winning the thing. Wellsboro is at 5, who's a 15-5 team, and Montoursville's at 6. And Montoursville's played Loyal Sox tough. They played Central tough. They split with Bloomsburg. They played Lewisburg tough. So that's a sleeper there. So this is a loaded field, and those top 4 teams are really, really good. Bloom won it 2 years ago and went to the state semis. Sock and Central split with each other. They've all kind of beat each other up this year. So that bracket is really going to be a battle. Just like in Double-A baseball, I think Triple-A softball is definitely the best field in District 4.
And earlier this week, I believe Montgomery faced Central Columbia. Faith Persing with, I think, 19 strikeouts in that game.
Crazy.
Let's talk about that a little because Central. Mia Constantino, I think her name is.
Constantino?
Yeah, I butcher a lot of names on these. But I mean, she's an outstanding pitcher for the Blue Jays, and for Montgomery to win that one, I think that was a big statement win for the Raiders.
It was huge. Yeah, I definitely thought they were an underdog going into that, and they got that. That was 2 days after they beat the defending Class A state champ in Williams Valley. And then yesterday they beat Wyalusing, who had won 8 straight games and has a great pitcher in Haley Jane. So Montgomery is doing everything that they want to do going into the playoffs and peaking at the right time and playing those 3 teams and beating all 3 this late in the season, I think, is great for them. And it definitely shows how dangerous they can be. And
I was going to say, I think that it has to skyrocket their confidence, too, going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, when you can beat Williams Valley and especially Central Columbia, as you said, with Constantino, who I think is one of the best pitchers in the state, it's got to give them the belief that they know they're capable of beating anybody if they play well. If they play their game, they've got a chance against anybody they play. So I thought it was great scheduling on their part to play these teams late in the season and to win them puts them in a great mindset as they get ready for the playoffs.
Exactly. All right, well, that'll do it for Sports Talk for this week for breaking that down. We got the District 4 Track and Field Championships here coming up on Saturday. Mitch Rupert and myself will be there. Give us a follow. Mitch Rupert at Mitch_Rupert on Twitter, and I'm at Jon Gerardi on Twitter. We'll be tweeting out a ton from the day going on. A lot of good events there. I love covering district and state track and field. They're always fun event.
Yeah. Watch out. South Williamsport has a really good 4x1 team, I think. The girls do. There's I don't know.
A standout named Katie Massey.
I think so, yeah. She might be the lead runner for them. Keep an eye on her. She's pretty good from what I hear. Not biased at all, though.
Maybe McCann afterwards will let you and I run the 100.
That would be fun. I have a baseball game at 11, so I can get over there. And
then the people there still in the stands can watch me smoke you in the
That's like, there's a lot of Garnet Valley alumni last week were like, is that guy serious? Like, does he know how fast you are? I mean, there's a lot of victims throughout District 1 back in my day that don't envy your position. I mean, I'm not in my prime by far, but I think the long jump showed that I still got a little bit of athletic ability and more than enough to whoop your butt.
That was one impressive long jump.
That was.
The form, and like you said, in jeans.
I had long johns on, no stretching. Hadn't done it in like 20 years or so. And I fell forward. I still remembered the fall forward to try to get distance, to try to get added distance at the end there. That's how I got us a medal in the 4x1 in 1994, falling forward at the line. Long story, and let me say something. If Ian Kelly and Ryan Keller and Lee Gervasilio, if you're listening out there, you should give me your 4x1 medals because we were in dead last when I got the baton as the anchor leg, and I got us in the 5th and got us a medal. Technically, all 4 medals should belong to me, so I'm coming for them.
Oh, man. All right, well, with
You've
that,
been
guys,
warned.
that'll do it for Sports Talk this week. We'll see you next week.